Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening kung anong oras ka nakikinig. And sorry kung medyo maliwanag at parang kinukuha ko ng langit. It's actually maliwanag on my room. And yeah, I would like to welcome you all in the Module 2 Part 1 presentation of our review on English language in the subject CDI 5, Technical Report Writing and Presentation. So by the way, I am your faculty in charge in this subject and I am Miss Danchel Ramos. Hope you learned something from our presentation. So here is a short overview of our module. Okay, see, this module covers detailed and comprehensive lessons on sentence construction, such as techniques in opening sentences, expanding sentences, sentence combining, using transitional words or phrases, and paragraph building. So, yun yung mga pagkaaralan natin dito, no? How are you going to properly construct a sentence? Okay? Ano ba yung mga different techniques in opening sentences? Paano ba natin pwedeng i-open yung sentences na nagbibigay clarity doon sa sentence natin? Ano pa? What are the different ways in expanding sentences? And we have also the sentence combining using transitional words or phrases and paragraph building. We are going to talk about also the subject-verb agreement, tenses, nouns, and pronouns, grammar and composition for a little bit lang. Okay? So, review lang talaga kasi since that those are basic things that we actually learn from elementary and high school. Now, I am hoping that at the end of this module that you could actually, number one, construct sentences with the use of different techniques in opening, expanding, and combining sentences. I am also hoping that at the end of this module, you could write and develop paragraphs that are short but with complete idea. Okay? Connected and consistent in verb tense, person, and number. Yun yung importante dito, no? Yung at the end of this module na kaya nyo nang gumawa ng sarili nyong paragraph to where andon yung 6 cardinal rules of investigation, kompleto siya. It could be short pero kompleto. And number 3, evaluate the form of report through grammar, sentence structure, errors, punctuation, capitalization, abbreviations, indentions, numbers, and spelling. So since matututunan nyo yan, matututo na din kayo on evaluating the form or the content of the report. Kung tama ba siya in grammar, in sentence errors, such as in punctuation, capitalization, and so on and so forth. Now, let's move forward to the module itself. We have the writing the report. Okay? So there are two different ways to where a certain person could write. Number one is actually experience-based writing, or one that is based on facts or events that actually happen. Okay? So, it is actually easier. Mas madali po yung experience-based writing rather than the other one, which is fictional writing. Okay? Or fictional story writing. Why? Pag sinabi kasi natin fictional story writing, your limit actually is your imagination. Okay? Wala kang base 1 to wala kang basis as to step 1 to step 10, hindi ganon. On experience-based writing, you're actually basing it on facts and events. Therefore, merong step-by-step na nangyari to where yun lang yung inanarrate mo. There goes your narrative report writing. So, ang experience-based writing, it is actually based on research, facts, and analysis. Okay? So, on narrative report writing, it is just simple. It could be narrative report, it could be written, it could be verbal, okay? So we have the narrative report is telling or writing things as they happened. Nilagay ko ang aking kamay sa may tenga, hindi ko talaga laman tagal, inayos ko yung aking buhok. So, as you can see, step by step, ganun lang pag narrative report writing. So, the available information which is already at hand, hindi ka na mahihirapan. So, you could already go on with the process of GRO, okay? After you have gathered the information, you record the facts, and then afterwards, you organize the facts or events in a manner that will be easily understood by the reader. Remember, if you are writing, you should think about who are the people who's going to read your report. So, di ba, ang report, it is not only inside it, the report will not only be circulating inside the organization. Okay, not all reports, no? may mga reports na inside the organization, may mga reports din that is also being circulated outside the organization, the law enforcement organization. So, writing narrative reports requires skills on sentence construction, organization of ideas, and use of appropriate words or diction or choice of words. Ayan, tinakpan ko na lang yung liwanag. So, there goes sentence construction. So, the question here is that, paano ko ba umpisan yung sentence ko? How do I even start my sentence, diba? It is always a problem on how are you possibly going to start your sentences, diba? Ganun parati, yung umpisa parating mahirap. So, customarily, as we were taught in our basic years, basic education years, we start the sentence with the usual subject, predicate order or pattern, which is the subject or the one being talked about comes first before the predicate, which contains the action word or the one that tells something about the subject. So anong tawag natin dito? Yung normal sentence pattern? Normal sentence pattern, which is the subject comes first, followed by the predicate. Okay? Tawag natin dyan ay normal sentence pattern. Now, consider the following examples here on your screen. We have the police officer smiled. Anong subject natin dyan? Sino bang tinutukoy ng sentence na yon? Which is, that is the police officer. And what is his action? Okay, and that is the red one, which is smiled or predicate or verb. So, sobrang easy, di ba? Normal sentence pattern yan. Mauna mo na ang subject and then susunod si predicate. Tatandaan si predicate, this is the action word. Now, let's move forward. So, those examples have a basic sentence pattern normally seen in a written report. However, to make an effective sentence, you can use different techniques in opening sentences that will immensely contribute to sentence variety and clarity of ideas. So, kaya natin pag-aaralan yung opening sentence, expanding sentences, it is because it contributes on making the sentence more effective as to kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng sentence na yon. Now, let's move forward with the opening sentences. Techniques yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, no? So, there are different techniques to where you could open your sentence. Okay? So, number one, there is the use of adverbs. Adverbs are words that usually modify, that is, they limit or restrict the meaning of verbs. Okay? Yun yung definition ni adverbs. Si adverbs, minomodify niya, nililimit niya, nire-restrict niya kung anong ibig sabihin ng isang action word. So they also modify adjectives or other adverbs, phrases, or even entire sentences. So ano ba itong mga adverbs? They are the words that usually end with ly. So noisily, anxiously, forcefully, gently, patiently, angrily, and so on and so forth. So usually they end with ly. So here are some examples of adverbs used in opening a sentence. Okay? So, quickly, as the victim attempted to flee, he was held back by the suspect. So, makikita ninyo na si adverb quickly, minomodify niya yung action ng victim on his attempt to flee. Okay? Pinakita ng sentence na mabilis yung pag-attempt ng pagtakas ng victim. Pangalawang example, immediately the suspect brandished a caliber .45 pistol and started firing indiscriminately. Again, the immediately is the adverb which opened the sentence. Anong nangyari? Pinakita ng adverb na yon yung paraan o kumbaga, ni-restrict niya, nilimit niya yung pag-brandish ng caliber pistol. Yung pagsama natin brandish, paglabas ng caliber pistol hanggang pagtutok. Okay? So, immediately, ibig sabihin, mabilis niyang ginawa yon. We also have here, instinctively, SPO for Bartolay, English, no? Went toward the suspect and grabbed his arm in an attempt to disarm him. Okay? So, instinctively, si SPO for Bartolay daw, okay, pumunta, palapit kay suspect, and then, ginrab niya yung kanyang arm on that. So, instinctively, kumbaga, ginawa niya na lang agad-agad by that notion. We also have slowly and cautiously, the snipers crept toward the location of the kidnappers. Again, the adverb slowly and cautiously both modify yung ginawa ng mga snipers to where they crept toward the location of the kidnapper. So take note lamang po dito on adverbs when you're using it in opening sentence. We must observe caution in the use of adverbs as sentence openers, okay? Lest the writer appear subjective or opinionated. Iiwasan natin yun na yes, we are using adverbs and it modifies the action of the subject. So, iwasan natin na gumamit ng mga adverbs na hindi naman talaga makatotohanan doon sa gustong ipakita ng sentence na yon. So, use adverbs that do not connote personal judgment to make your report as objective as possible. So, that is the goal. To not be subjective or opinionated, but rather to be objective. Okay? We also have the use of prepositional phrase. Okay? A phrase is a group of words without a subject and verb which functions in a sentence as one part of speech. So, lilinawan natin to ha. Sentence, phrase, clause. Sentence, okay? Malinaw yan. May subject, may verb, there is a complete thought in it. And pag sabi natin phrase, this is just a group of words, okay? Walang subject, walang verb. And it actually functions as one part of speech. Ibig sabihin, it could function as a adjective or an adverb, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, yun yung phrase na tinatawag. So, pag sinabi natin part of the speech, just to refresh your mind, okay? Yun yung nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Now, that is the definition of phrase. Ano naman ang prepositional phrase? Okay? Phrase, group of words. Now, pag dinikita na natin ng prepositional phrase, ang pinakamadaling explanation of this, the phrase actually starts from a preposition. So, a prepositional phrase consists of a preposition and an object, usually a noun. So, together the preposition and the object or the phrase functions either as an adjective phrase modifying nouns and pronouns or an adverb phrase modifying adjectives and adverbs. So, si prepositional phrase po, number one na dapat yung maalala dyan, it is a group of words which starts with a preposition. Pangalawa, ang prepositional phrase, it actually functions into two different ways. Number one, it could function as an adjective phrase. Okay, paano natin malalaman na adjective phrase yan? Pag ang minomodify po niya ay nouns and pronouns. Pero malalaman naman natin yan pag it functions as an adverb phrase. If it functions, okay, if it modifies another adjective or another adverb. So, let us look into the example para makita nyo talaga to, no? So, here are some examples of prepositions: under, above, across, during, from, around, behind, in, over, on. Makikita ninyo, that is what preposition is, di ba? Sana naaalala ninyo. So, here are some examples of prepositional phrases on the third floor, around the neighborhood. Now, let's use it in sentence opening, okay, in opening your sentences. So, here is an example of prepositional phrases. In her sworn statement, she admitted that the suspect is her former boyfriend. Okay, again, paano natin malalaman na prepositional phrase siya? It is a group of words yan, and it actually starts with a preposition. What is the preposition in the first underlined sentence? That is in. Okay? In her sworn statement. Now, paano natin malalaman kung ano yung function niya? Sino ba yung minomodify nung prepositional phrase na yon? So, in her sworn statement, what is being modified here is yung sworn statement nung pronoun na she. Okay? So, that is for the function of the prepositional phrase. The second one here is that with his defensive tactics skills, SPO2 Buendia was able to disarm the suspect. Again, it is a prepositional phrase. It starts with the preposition with a group of words here, and it modifies kung sino ba yung may defensive tactics skills, that is SPO2 Buendia. Okay. Now, on doctor's advice, PO2 Bakiran took a leave of absence from his current duties to seek medical treatment. On September 14, 2010 at about 4 p.m., Maria Gina Gonzalez, 23 years old, single and resident of Ibayan, Pamplona, Camarines Sur, came to this station. So these are just some examples of prepositional phrases used in opening a sentence. Now, we have the use of participle or participial phrase. So, lagi nating tatandaan ha. Pangalawa na to, yung una, Una, adverbs. Pangalawa is prepositional phrase. Now, we have participle or participial phrase. So, a participle is a verbal ending in ing, which is in present. Okay? Pag yung participle na yun or participial phrase, it started with a verb ending in ing, that is in present participial form. Okay? If it is ending in ed, en, dt, and or ne, that is in past form. This functions as an adjective, modifying a noun or a pronoun. So, yun yung pinagkaiba ng prepositional phrase. Sa prepositional phrase, it could function as an adverb and an adjective. Ito namang si participle or participial phrase, it only functions as an adjective. Okay? Pag ganun yung pinag-uusapan natin, it functions as an adjective, ulit-ulitin ko man ito, it modifies a noun or a pronoun. So, a participial phrase consists of a participle plus modifiers, objects, and or complements. So, let's move forward. We have here the use of present participial phrase. So, pag sinabi natin present participles, these are verb forms ending in ing that are used as adjectives or descriptive words. Okay? Yes, they are action. Kumbaga, yung base word nila is an action word. Okay, but they are functioning as an adjective or descriptive word. Kagaya ng present participle na running, if it is combined with other words, which is present participial phrase, running wildly. So, makikita ninyo na dinescribe niya yung action na wildly. Sorry, let me clarify. Hindi niya dinescribe yung action, but rather, ito, since it will be functioning as an adjectives, running wildly, kung sino man, kung ano man yung kasunod niyang subject, that is what is being described. Okay? Para makita natin yan, let's move forward to the example. So, kagaya nito, examples of present participial phrase used in opening sentences. We have sensing danger. SPO to Karinaga ordered the suspect to raise his hands and look face down. So, the present participial phrase here, sensing danger, is actually modifying, okay, it's actually describing SPO to Karinaga. Na si SPO to Karinaga, na-sense niya nga yung danger. We also have here, sleeping soundly, the victim was awakened by the incessant barking of his dog. Again, this is the present participial phrase and it is acting as an adjective. It functions as an adjective. Therefore, ang kanyang minamodify is yung victim. And then, we have the realizing the futility of arguing with the suspect. Okay? Medyo maaba itong phrase na to. It actually modifies, okay, describe the victim. Na-realize na daw niya yung futility nung pakikipag-argue doon sa suspect. Okay. We also have the use of past participle or participial phrase. So, a past participial phrase ends in ed, t, or en and is used as an adjective to describe the word, noun, or pronoun that follows it. Example, sworn affidavit, mutilated body, burnt documents, etc. Okay? So, examples of past participles and past participial phrases, we have here horrified, horrified by the news, captured by arresting officers. So, let's move forward to the examples. So, exhausted, SPO3 galang, the duty desk officer stood up, stretched his arms and legs. So, makikita natin dito, yung exhausted, this is the past participle. Now, ano yung dinidescribe niya? Sino bang exhausted dito? Si SPO3 galang. We also have here confused. Martin uttered unintelligible remarks in answer to investigators' questions. So, sinong na-confuse? Itong opening past participle na to, ano yung kanyang dinidescribe or sino yung kanyang dinidescribe? It is actually describing Martin. Martin is confused. Okay? Hacked to death, the victim sustained a bullet wound in the nape, visibly shaken. The star witness could only stare at the victim's young son. So, makikita ninyo, yung kung ano man yung katabi niya na noun or pronoun, that is what is being modified actually by the past participle or past participial phrase. Now, we also have the perfect participle or perfect participial phrase. We have the present, we have the past, now we have the perfect. So, paano natin malalaman na it is actually in perfect participle Okay? A perfect participle or perfect participial phrase can also be used to open a sentence. So, it consists of helping verbs having or having been. Yun yung key term nyo dyan, na doon. Alam niyo na perfect participle yan or perfect participial phrase if it has the helping verb having or having been. Okay? Together with the past participle form of the verb. So it is used to indicate a completed action before another action. It functions mainly as an adjective describing the subject of the sentence. So we have here having shot. Okay? Having been notified. So as you can see, here is the helping verb having, and then we have the shot, which is the past form of the verb. Okay, now let's use it in sentence. Now, we have here, having shot the stray dog, the security guard apologized to his superiors. So, titignan natin muna yung function niya. Kung ang past and present, they actually functions as an adjective, this one also functions as an adjective. So, pag sinabi natin ganon, it describes the subject of the sentence. But, there is an addition to that. Okay? Pag perfect participial phrase or perfect participle, it actually indicates a completed action. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, pinapakita niya na tapos na itong first action and then another action is coming. Let us see an example. So, having shot the stray dog. This is the past participial phrase. So, that is a past participial phrase. Okay, perfect participial phrase. Having shot the stray dog. Now, ano yung kanyang dinidescribe? Actually, it is actually describing the security guard as the subject of the sentence. Now, does it indicates the past action, the completed action, and the next action? Yes, it does. Ibig sabihin, tapos niya na nabaril itong stray dog, and then the security guard is going to apologize to his superiors. This example also follows that, no? They are functioning as an adjective. They open the sentence. There is the helping verb having and having been together with the past form of the verb, and it actually acts as an adjective. Therefore, what is being described is the pronoun or the noun, which is Piotozuelo, and we have here the erring police recruit and he. Okay? Now, we could also use to open sentence the use of subordinate or dependent clause. So, kanina, di ba? We have the sentence. Now, we also finished what is a phrase. Now, ano ba tong clause na tinatawag? Okay? A subordinate clause contains a subject and a verb. Pag sinabi kasi natin clause, may subject and a verb yan. Pero dalawang klase po kasi sila. Pag subordinate clause, ito yung may subject and verb, but it cannot stand alone as a complete idea. Okay? We also have the other one, which is the main clause or the independent clause. And this one could actually stand alone. It has a complete idea. There is subject and verb in it. Okay? So, it is used to clarify the meaning of the main clause or the independent clause. The subordinate clause, yun yung kanyang trabaho. It clarifies the meaning of the independent or main clause. So, how are you going to know that it is a subordinate clause? A subordinate clause usually starts with a subordinating conjunction. So, dapat kabisado nyo to. So, ano ba itong mga subordinating conjunction na tinatawag? These are because, when, after, although, before, since, as, even though, and so on and so forth. So, dapat ito kabisado nyo ito, itong mga subordinating conjunction na to. Okay? Now, here is an example of a subordinate clause together with the main clause. So, the blue one is a subordinate clause, the red one is the main clause. So, because he was their father's favorite son, Mari Villame was resented by his siblings. Okay? So, makikita ninyo na yung blue, okay, it has subject, it has verb, but it does not have a complete idea. Compared to the main clause, may subject, may verb, may complete idea siya. So, anong ginawa ng subordinate clause? It opened the sentence, yes, but it actually clarifies why Mari Villame was resenting his siblings. Okay? So, yun. It clarifies yung main clause. So, we also have another example here. When she was interviewed further, Sarah Barquilia, a household help at the victim's residence, broke down and refused to divulge any information. So, when I was discussing this to you, before I even recorded this, may mga tinanong akong estudyante, alin ba dito yung subordinate clause and alin dito yung main clause? And may mga nagkamali. So, lagi niyong tatandaan, subordinate clause starts with a subordinating conjunction. So, alin dito yung subordinating conjunction? We have here the word when. And it actually opened the sentence. So, the subordinate clause here is that when she was interviewed further. Okay? Sarah Barkilia, a household help at the victim's residence. The naka-italize, yung a household help at the victim's residence, it just actually explained who Sarah Barkilia is. But that is not the main clause. Okay? Check this one, oh. It is not starting with a subordinating conjunction. So the underlined word broke down and refused to divulge any information. Okay? So it actually starts in Sarah Barkilia, a household help at the victim's residence, broke down and refused to divulge any information. That is actually the main clause. Okay? So, the subordinate clause here, which is when she was interviewed, it just actually clarify Sarah Barkilia on her actions on this sentence. Now, since we have already discussed the normal sentence pattern, which is the subject-verb, or subject-predicate pattern, we also have the inverted order. So, the writer opens the sentence with the predicate first. So, pwede nyo rin itong gawin. You could open a sentence by starting it through the predicate or through the verb before the subject. So, here are some examples. Ito, inverted order. Recovered from the crime scene were 5 shells of caliber .45 pistol believed to have been used by the unidentified gunman. So makikita ninyo, nag-umpisa yung sentence from recovered, okay, which is a verb. So check natin yung natural order. Sa natural order, nauna yung 5 shells of caliber .45 pistol believed to have been used by the unidentified gunman were recovered from the crime scene. So anong difference nila? Both sentences are actually grammatically correct, but the first sentence puts emphasis on the action, which is yung recovery nung 5 shells of caliber .45 pistol. On the other hand, the second sentence places an emphasis on the object recovered, which is yung 5 shells of caliber .45 pistol. So that is a difference. Sa inverted order, it gives emphasis on the action. Okay? Now, we could also start a sentence through the use of infinitive phrase, okay? Which is to plus main or base form of the verb. So, pag sinabi natin to plus main or base form of the verb, okay? Pag base form, yan po yung present form or the simplest form ng verb na yon. So, an infinitive is a verb consisting of word to plus a verb and functioning as a noun, adjective, or adverb. Again, pwede siyang mag-function as a noun, it could function as an adjective, it could function as an adverb. So, let us see the examples. To divert the attention of the suspect, Nilda Silva screamed at the top of her lungs before pretending to collapse. Okay? So, we have the to plus main or base form, which is divert. So, it is a group of words, therefore it is infinitive phrase. Now, how does it function? It functions as an adjective. It modifies Nilda Silva. We also have to subdue the enemy. The responding team used high-powered guns. And to encourage the witness to speak, the complainants showed photographs of the victims. Okay? So, the to form plus main or base form. I'm really sorry if narinig yung mga bell ng mga pusa ko. But that is for our episode. And it's 30 minutes. Medyo mahaba itong episode na to. But I have discussed this in our Microsoft Teams. Gumawa lang ako ng recording for you to have a review video. Okay, so that's it. I hope you learned something and I hope balik-balikan nyo tong video na to para naman hindi natin makalimutan on the different opening sentences techniques that we have. So I will be discussing still the expanding sentences, combining sentences on the next video. So thank you for listening. Hope you have learned something from this channel and goodbye. Check the next episode.